Okay, no messing about with this intro. Viltrox sent me this lens a couple of weeks ago and I highly recommend it if you're looking for a budget, fast portrait lens. Face detection, eye autofocus, in-body stabilization, they all work with the A7 III. It's not a stabilized lens, but with steady shot turned on the camera, most of those micro jitters in video are gone. Is it perfect? No, no lens is. Is it as good as the Sony equivalent, the Zeiss Batis, or even the G Master? I've no idea, son. You think I'm made of money? That said, the Sony 85 1.8 is £200 more expensive than this. The Batis is over £500 more than this. And you could get 5 of these for the same price as a G Master. This is just a little over £300 or $320 US, and you want to see what it can do. So I alluded at the top of this video that Viltrox have sent me this lens to test and review, but they've paid me absolutely nothing for this video. I'm hoping they're going to lose my address so I don't have to send it back. By the way, if this is your first time here, I'm Adam. I run a media production company here in Liverpool, and this channel is my sandpit. It's where I get to play. If you enjoy this video or, and this is a real stretch, learn something useful, please consider clicking that like button. It really does help out the channel massively. The more likes, the better the channel does. The better the channel does, the more videos I'll make. The more videos I'll make, the more time I'm in here, I'm not bothering my wife. So this is kind of a plea on her behalf. For my beautiful wife's sanity, please click that like button. I mean, subscribe if you're really a glutton for punishment. Anyway, back to the lens. Front and center, the negatives of which I only have a couple. The focusing distance is around 80 centimeters or a little over 2.5 feet. Not a massive deal, but surprised me a little at first. I was trying to get a shot of this fella on my back doors. As you can see, I finally got the shot, but for a good while, I couldn't even see him through the EVF. Not like he was out of focus, he just didn't even exist. Good to keep in mind, however, if you're ever shooting through, I don't know, a wire fence or through some tall grass that you don't actually want in the foreground, let alone out of focus, get close enough to them and hey presto, vanished. Secondly, at f/16 it tends to pulse a little and doesn't seem to be able to make up its mind. It's not like it's hunting, although I'm pretty sure that's what it is doing. It just, I don't know, it locks on and then kind of forgets that it's locked on, even in bright sunlight. Kind of goes against the whole sexy 16 adage for outdoor shooting in the sun. I'm pretty sure they'll be able to correct that with a firmware update. This is version 1.0 currently. I'll update the description if and when that update is released and if it's corrected this, if I still have this lens. I think I might have to move. They're definitely geared up for firmware updates too, as you can see the micro USB port on the mounting ring. The metal mounting ring. Hallelujah. As you can see though, it isn't weather sealed. No rubber gaskets on here, my friend. The lens on the whole is beefy too, weighing just over 670 grams on its own and 1.3 kilograms when coupled with the A7 III and the battery installed. It's reassuringly heavy though. I like it. It's solid. However, it does make it a little bit top heavy when on camera, but nothing that an added battery grip wouldn't solve if it really bugs you. Not sure how it would fare on a gimbal though. Hopefully if I can get my hands on one sometime soon, I'll let you know if I still have the lens. Are you spotting a theme? As it's a fixed prime, there's no zoom ring, and as a result, a great portion of the metal exterior is dominated by the focusing ring, and oh my, what a beauty. It's as smooth as you like, buttery smooth. Much like the bokeh you get out of this. Stop all the way down to 1.8 and that shallow depth of field is a delight with very little vignetting. I mean seriously, look how sharp it is even wide open at 1.8. And that sharpness continues all the way down to f/13. How about f/16? Sharpness, well, it drops off a bit there, I'm afraid, possibly due to the pulsing I mentioned earlier, and it just simply not liking being closed tight. Again, firmware update. Fingers crossed. f/16 is the narrowest it'll go, however. For video, as you can see from here, the focus is quick. This was all filmed with the focus set to flexible spot small and set to responsive and fast. Yes, sometimes you are left waiting a little, but it really isn't that long, especially when you take into consideration its, I was gonna say price point, but honestly, nothing about this, in my opinion, feels cheap. As I've said, it's a solidly built lens, the majority of the lens being metal, and that zoom ring, oh, the zoom ring. That's metal too. I tested it with my teeth. What's that, Viltrox? Damaged lens? Can't resell it? Oh, what a shame. My precious. Folks, this is not a native Sony lens, and yet even face tracking and eye autofocus works perfectly. Can't see right now, as sadly I don't have a camera monitor recorder. Atomos, you watching? course they're not watching, you idiot. But trust me, in fact, don't. Watch this. Fully open at 1.8 and tracking the face like a beast. The lens comes in the most difficult box I've ever attempted to open, but once you're in there, you agree to buy the lens, a quality storage pouch, and a lens hood which is already attached. The lens info is actually printed around the edge of the lens, allowing for an unobstructed view of the bulbous front of this beauty. If you haven't already realized, I'm a big fan of this lens. Definitely one I would love in my kit bag. It gives great compression with that 85mm reach. I'm blown out with that 1.8. Just nice. The autofocus is really good and I can see it getting even better. Remember the hate that Sony's own 50mm 1.8 got when it was first released? Through a couple of updates though to the firmware, it's much better and a much more capable lens, which far outperforms its price point. In fact, this whole piece to camera and all the B-roll that you've seen of this lens in this video was shot on Sony's 50mm 1.8 with autofocus. Bit of an experiment. I did a review on it a couple of weeks back. Link in the description for that video, as are the links for where to get this great piece of kit. I would highly recommend you getting one soon if you're considering it. These are very quickly going to be on back order once people start to realize just how good they are. And with that, we are done. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful or you want to give my wife a break. Subscribe to the channel if you're that way inclined. My name's Adam. This is Musing of a Man. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.